Right guys, welcome back. So it's time to pull this motor down and put all the parts I've got in it and get it ready to throw back in the Mini. So as you can see here, the body's all painted. I'm just waiting on Ricky to get some stickers done for me. So yeah, there it is. It's come up a lot better than I expected actually. The bodywork's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. Spin around there. Yeah, it's shined up pretty damn well. So once you get the stickers on that, that's all sort of right to go. And yes, this motor, I'm just gonna set the camera up soon, drain the oil, and start pulling it all apart. The only thing I won't be able to do is get the harmonic balancer off for now, because I haven't got a bolt for my pulley, so I have to go get another bolt for the puller, I mean. But yeah, so I'm gonna pull it all apart. I've got new head studs, new rear plate, new head gaskets, obviously the inlet manifold, the carby, all that sort of stuff. I have to pull this off to get some little dash 10 fittings welded on there so I can do the 2 turbo oil returns into there. Then I'll mock up the water pump and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. This is the first time I've ever had this motor apart, so could be surprises. I hope it's not.
That's big. Wow. That's what he took off. Said 5 now. Look at that. That big thing. I did it to you again. So that is what he's got now. All of that's off. Can't believe that. It's all off.
Alright, so there we go, sumps off. Just gave all these a bit of a wiggle. There's nothing rough going on there. Not sure what cam's in it yet. It's double row timing chain in there. Hang on. That hasn't got an oil pickup in it. Bugger, I'll have to get one of them. Oh well, so yeah, I'll just give it all a bit of a degrease and clear all the shit out before I go turning it over. I've got some brake cleaner, clear a heap of the stuff out and see how we go. Actually working, you little beauty. Oh. There we go. Might be worth checking out the oil pump while I'm here. Maybe even see what cam's in it. Alright guys, so it's about 40 degrees in the shed, but I'm just starting to piece this motor together. So I've just cleaned all the carbon and old gaskets and stuff off. I pulled the oil pump off and pulled that apart, and got the die grinder in and sort of ported it all a little bit. Shimmed up that relief valve a little bit, so it should give me a bit more oil pressure. I'm just putting the lifters in at the minute. Lifters and head gaskets, and I'll sit the heads on there. I'm just waiting on, got to get the sump modified, some bungs welded into that, and waiting on a couple of seals, and then it should sort of all be together, but a bit messy at the minute, but yeah, we're getting there. So next step, I'll do these lifters. So these are LS7 lifters. So there's your LS1. See how they sort of open all the way there, and they've only got those two little bits holding it, and that's an LS7 lifter. So they're just a bit of a redesign, a bit better, so throw them in. Hopefully this motor holds together alright. I'm not trying to make huge power with it, and I realise it's just an alloy block, so I'm not gonna, that's why I'm not bothering to sort of ore it and all that sort of stuff. I'm just doing a few things that'll hopefully help it live a bit longer, but I'm not going to spend $1 million on it. Alright, so that's those two in there. Put that head gasket on. Just a factory MLS head gasket. Hopefully that goes alright. And the old China head studs. So all those head studs cost me, I think, $70 delivered or something, but oh, shit, look what I've done. Put the head gasket in, and I've got to do those bolts underneath there. Idiot. Alright, so I'm just about to go and drop these off to get them welded up, and this little alloy returns for the turbo. I'm on the other side. I'll get them done, then I can get this motor back together. Hey Prince. So today, I'm about to go and take this down to get powder coated. So my mate Kyle welded this up for me. So that's all right to go. I'll get that and that powder coated. I've got to go down and get a new O-ring for that. Then I can put the pickup in there. Also, Kyle welded the oil returns in. So one there and one there for the turbo. So yeah, I'll go down, take that stuff to get powder coated. Hopefully I can pick up the gaskets for the sump, front cover, all that sort of stuff. And with a bit of luck, pick up a few more bolts, one more fitting for the fuel system, and I might be able to get this motor back together and maybe even bolt it up to the auto and in the car. So fingers crossed to see how I go. Alright, so I got some goodies, not everything unfortunately. So I'm still waiting on the gasket for around here and the seal that goes on the front there, so I can't put the front of the motor on yet. And I've got to try and find my little O-rings that go in there. If I can find them, I can get that bolted on. I've got to get some more bolts to bolt the rockers on. But I have got the sump gasket. Got this new O-ring. Sorry, not sure what happened there. SD card error. So yeah, got the sensor and the final fuel fitting. So I can get the sump back on, pick up in, and hopefully get. All right, so this camera's been playing up a bit, but anyway, I've been flat out. The sump's back on. See the drains there. That's all done up. The manifold's on. Rockers have all been done up. All right, so for whatever reason this memory card's been stuffing up, so I just formatted it, see how it goes. So yeah, these steam ports, then normally got little tubes connected, which all sort of join into the radiator, which stops pockets of air in the tops of the heads when the motor's on a slight angle. It sort of gets stuck up there. So I've got these Willwood brake bleed valves. So I'm going to drill and tap them into there, which is the actual hull, and then I'll be able to bleed the air out of it. It may still, over time, it may still get air trapped in there, but it's easy just to crack this open while it's running, let it bleed all the air out, and do it that way. So that's the next step, just to drill some holes in here. I picked up a tap while I was out getting the bolts. There we go, it's a 1/8 NPT tap. Hopefully that's the right one. And yeah, let's get that happening. Alright, so the engine's hanging there. By yourself, it's just that little bit hard to get the engine and gearbox in. So I think I'm just going to drop the engine straight down and then bolt the gearbox to it once it's in there, because I can lift the gearbox in from the top. So just unbolt these fellas and then drop the engine in. Alright, so the engine's officially in. Just got to fit this front cover tomorrow. Bolted the exhaust manifold up. Just got to find somewhere for that dipstick to go. Might go at the front here. Bolt it off the head or something. I've made up the lines for here, so that's the hard line going to the regulator. That's the boost reference valve. It's a 1-to-1 rising regulator. -6 lines to the carby there. The other line is done here. Comes back into the relief valve in there. I think I'll have to adjust that because it's just sort of circulating it around the tank at the minute and not bumping any up front. Waiting on some bolts for there to bolt that on, and then I can get the transmission in there. So carby's all bolted on, this bracket's on. Gotta make up the cable to hook that up. Started to mock up this side here, but I'm just waiting on some nuts for that. It's amazing how when that's tightened up and the steering's at full lock, it clears by about 20 mil. It's all so tight. Yeah, the turbo return and the feed lines there. And yeah, once I get this front on, then I can start just putting the radiator and figuring out the radiator lines and that sort of stuff. Also got to figure out where to put the coils. So these little brackets are made up for them. They might have to go here or under here. I'm really not sure yet. Might go up on top. I'll just have to see where they fit once the body's on. New oil pressure sensor, new cam sensor. Here's my bleed valves. So yeah, it's all good. I may have to get some dash 12 fittings welded onto there so I can run a catch can and breather. But hopefully we can get the turbos back on tomorrow. I got the new bolts in, I'll just get put nuts on there. So it's all happening. It's looking good. Alright, we've got some goodies. So it looks like I'll be able to get the transmission in today, which is good. I just had to go and get some ARP flywheel bolts to bolt that flex plate on. I got this stuff in the mail, which is my turbo oil feed kit. That's my torque converter belt bolts. So there's the two kits for the turbos. Alright, so the flex plate's bolted on, all torqued down and Loctited. I've just sat this bar here. I'm going to bring the auto in, sit it down there. I'll put the torque converter in first, and then I might have to lift the motor up and just shimmy it around a bit to try and get these two to meet up and bolt it together. Then I'll look at bolting the torque converter to the flex plate. So, drive line's going in. Alright, so the auto's not going in today. I had issues for some reason trying to get the torque converter in deep enough, so I've just got to check all the measurements and that sort of thing. But front of the engine is together, so I've got the front on, got the Pro Sport balancer on there, the electric water pump kit, and alternator's sort of mocked up there. So the idea is this belt's a little bit thick, but that will go kind of like that. So the water pump will go right in the middle there, and then that's your adjustment up and down to tighten it. Yeah, dipstick goes there. I'm just waiting on some proper nuts for these. Then I can put the J pipes back on. Put the turbos on there. I've got the two oil returns in there. I need a couple more fittings to get the oil feeds happening from the top of the turbos. So yeah, for now that's where we're at. I'm about to head off to work, go to night shift again, so not much more is going to happen today. And tomorrow, yeah, I don't know how much more we're going to get done. I might be able to start getting the radiator and that mocked up, because unfortunately the turbos are going to have to order a few things online and get them delivered to get that plumbing finished. So yeah, I'll just look at getting the accelerator pedal and that sort of thing hooked up, radiator. So it needs little steel hard lines to go between all the pipes. I need to mount the pump itself down here somewhere. So yeah, still plenty to do, but I'm getting there. So thanks for staying tuned. Alright, so today was meant to be the day when this is all bolted together, beautiful, and I'll start making the tail shaft. And it turns out that I don't know what that converter's off, but it's not going to work. I tried bolting it up and it was dead tight, hitting against the flex plate. I'd made sure this was all the way in, tried heaps of times, clicked it, And so that was all the way in, fully engaged, and that still had 5mm to go before I could tighten it up, and it was still already tight, so I didn't want to bust the pump. So I'm just going to get another converter for it, just another turbo 350 or turbo 400 converter. I just don't want to stuff the pump in the transmission. So unfortunately the transmission and engine aren't going to be in today. I'll see if I can organise one within the next few days, but I just got a call that my intake piping's all been powder coated and done. So for now I'm going to pick up this stuff, this intake pipe. I'll show you some photos of that, and then I've got my Christmas party today for work, so I think I've burnt a few beers this afternoon. So let's check out this intake pipe and see you next time. Thanks.